The car industry is full of promises and innovations. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of startup concept supercars from the 1980s and 1990s, most of which exhibited technologies that either could have changed the automotive world, or did when that technology was implemented more reasonably years later. Quite a few of these cars went through several iterations, sometimes minor body adjustments like headlights, sometimes entirely different engines. What if I told you there's one car that fit into all of those things? One such car that, throughout its life, had both a mildly detuned Motori Moderni Flat 12 to a Judd V10 that revved beyond 10,000 RPM. One car that had a top speed of 199 miles an hour and 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds in 1989. One car that not only utilized active aero with a retractable wing, but also had one of the most gorgeous shapes ever seen in the automotive industry. Not only that, but also a car that has a Wikipedia page more barren than the one for Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. Obviously, there is such car. If there wasn't, we wouldn't be here right now. Would I be here only just starting to write this script at 9:30 p.m. on the evening in a Saturday? No, I don't think so. Oh, and did I mention that this was a product of Japan's bubble economy? Because of course it is. That's right, already half of my short story video essays are about products of Japan's economic bubble. Oh yeah, for returning viewers, I probably owe you guys a bit of an explanation as to why my last two videos about the Isuzu Piazza and the Dodge SRT4 were deleted. That'll be coming up as the next video on my channel. Anyway, back to the point. This is the untold story of the domed Jiotto Caspita. Let's get started on our journey exploring the car that could have handed Godzilla its own ass on a silver platter.
An infrared transmitter opens the door and permits contact.
Now, if you've ever heard of the Jiotto Caspita in some sort of retro video game, you've seen it referred to as the Jiotto Caspita. Well, that may be somewhat true, but the Caspita was actually manufactured by Dome, the Japanese racing team and car manufacturer most known for their Zero exotic wedge car. So that's probably a good place to start. Minoru Hayashi, the man who would later found the Dome Company, built his first racing car in 1965. It was a modified Honda S600, which had a strong resemblance to a strange quasi-Ford Shelby Daytona coupe. It was bequeathed the name Karasu, which is the Japanese word for crow. 10 years later, Dome was founded to allow Mr. Hayashi to produce and race his own cars in various motorsports divisions. After various racing cars in categories such as F3, Group C, and even Formula 1, Dome decided it was time for another road car. They teamed up with Jiotto to develop the car, and started with a bonded aluminum and carbon fiber monocoque developed with help from Mitsubishi. It wasn't exactly a situation as first time's the charm, though. Far from it. The chassis was revised a total of 15 times before they reached the end product. Despite that, it did end up resulting in the car weighing under 2,500 pounds. The name Caspita was taken from the Italian phrase, good heavens, which I think suits the car as much as the Countach name did back in 1974. The party piece of the first iteration of the Jiotto Caspita was its Motori Moderni Flat 12 engine, a quite literal F1 unit mildly detuned to 450 horsepower. Originally seen in the Subaru 1235 Formula 1 car, it also appeared in other cars, such as the Alba AR20. This car specifically has such a great story behind it, it may become a short stories episode in the future. While not so successful on the racetrack, when it was implemented in the Caspita, it gave the car a low center of gravity, which made it handle astonishingly. The design was done by Kunihisa Ito, and to his credit, he would have done amazing things at any other large manufacturer. It staggers me that this shape was developed in the 1980s, and it's one of the most gorgeous cars I've ever seen. I could only imagine that with the howl of a flat 12 behind you, it would have been a driving experience unlike anything else in existence short of a Group C prototype or a Formula 1 car. Version 2 had some slight exterior changes, such as different headlights and a revised front intake system. The most important change, though, was its switch to a more reliable power plant in the form of a Judd GV-V10. The second generation of the car was a fully functioning car, as was shown by the Yatabe high-speed run clip at the beginning of this video. Other than that, not much has changed. Still the same Weissman 6-speed manual, still longitudinally mounted. It was just more reliable and had a bit of a different sound coming out the back. Now we get to the point where I really wish there was more information on this car. I wish there was more to say. But hey, it may frustrate me, but at least it suits the name Short Stories now. Anyway, this is one of the dozens of examples of a heart-stopping concept car that could have changed the world. It's nice to see a select few people talk about the Caspita in the same vein as the Volkswagen W12 Nardo and other similar concept cars. Despite that, it's just another supercar that never made it past the concept stage due to a receding economy. And I can't help but see a little bit of beauty in that, don't you?